what's up, y'all? It's Papa One's Cracking It's D. About to react to this vid. It's titled China Exposes Luxury Brands as Trade War with Trump Escalates. So I've been seeing these clips on TikTok, and it is coming out that, these big name brands, they get a lot of their material from China, and they be saying, oh, made in Italy of the highest fabric and quality. Lies. So when you go to these countries like Thailand and China, you can get these same exact bags for a fraction of the cost, or you don't even have to go to the country yourself. You can actually just buy these things online, and people be like, oh, that's a knockoff. Is it really? When it was made in the same exact factory by the same people, the same exact thing. But one, brand is charging you $1,500, $2,000, and the other website or shop that you go to in Thailand, they charge you like $100. Because the good knockoffs are like a little bit more pricey. They're not gonna be like $10, $20. They're like $100, a little over that. So yeah, it's getting exposed. I've been knew this stuff. this is not really a secret, but I guess it's a secret for people who aren't really into this type of thing and don't really purchase designer brands. But yeah, it's always been this way. A lot of celebrities and rich people will buy knockoff shit because it's the same shit. They know it's the same shit. So they don't even be buying the shit out the store. You know who do? Broke people. People who don't really have it and need to put it on like a payment plan or credit cards and shit. They go into the stores and actually buy the real thing. A lot of celebrities and shit, they don't be buying the real thing because they know the scam. Anywho, let's see what's on this video. Let's watch.
So let me get this straight. You telling me that my Louis Vuitton and my other few designer bags are made in China?
Your made in Italy Gucci 80% come from Chinese factory.
Not surprised. They're just lying on the label. Made in Italy.
I ain't even mad. I'm mad I spent this much money on these bags. If they're saying that,
I can't lie. I did too when I was newly into money. when I first got money, that is some broke shit I did. I did go and buy a few designer items. So the designer I have, I bought it like years ago. But now I would never.
Birkins are being made in China? You already know that Louis Vuitton, Gucci, Shanell, and everybody else is being made in China. That's why I am never impressed by all the money that people spend on these bags. Never be impressed, baby. Never be impressed because...
Okay, girl.
Seen that TikTok video that the Chinese guy posted about exposing how luxury goods are made? Basically, most of the luxury brands we use every day are made in China, then shipped to Europe and sold to consumers at a premium. A wedding ring that we can buy for $2, they turn it into $2,000. China is the world's largest processing plant. You buy Gucci, 80% is made in China, Prada, 60% is made in China. Even Chanel, Fendi, Louis Vuitton, Adidas, Nike, etc. The only difference here is that China sends them to Europe and they put some little label on them that says made in France, made in Italy. It's ridiculous. While people are still criticizing Shanell for being cheap and of poor quality, those expensive and good products that you think are made in France and Italy are actually from China.
It ain't no way we been getting finessed like this, y'all.
Y'all been getting finessed.
And China just exposed it all. So boom, Americans out here dropping 800, 1,200, and even 4,000 and more on designer clothes, thinking it's all luxury, all high quality clothes, the high end stuff. But China just pulled the curtain back and showed the world that most of the stuff is made in the same factories with material that costs a fraction of the price. So we're talking shoes that cost $30 to make. But
let's be clear, even before I bought the luxury shit that I did buy, the name brand stuff, I pretty much did know this, but I still was just like, no, but I still just want to go in the store and buy. And I'm just, it was like a symbol of me finally getting some money from being broke all my damn life. I'm like, finally I could go into the store and it's like, slap down my card, charge it, I got it. So it was more so that feeling and me wanting to fill that void. I had all my life of feeling broke. So that was just some internal psychological shit. Because, I even knew back then. Like, I've known this for a very long time. Like, this is not new information whatsoever. But, after I bought a few items, I'm just like, bro, what the fuck am I doing? This is stupid. Like, I don't need to fill no void. Like, I'm good. All right, cool. I'm happy. I'm financially secure. I don't need to do this stupid shit. So, I don't have that many items because I stopped. But I think it's interesting that people would think like, oh yeah, this is the top of the top quality, and that the knockoff shit, like, nah, that ain't real. But maybe because people, when they think of knockoff shit, they think of the shit in the mall. If you go to a mall and they got like the fake Gucci shit like that, that's the terrible, horrible quality shit. We ain't talking about that. We talking about the shit that when you go to certain places and they like, hey, you want some designer? And they take you to like a back alley and you gotta go in like an underground tunnel. Like they take you to like a real exclusive looking, it's real sketchy, but they'll take you to like an exclusive area where they're illegally selling the same exact shit. So you gotta go to those type of places when you go to certain countries. If the shit is just out for full display, like it's fake for sure. Well, it's just fake, but that's the shit you don't want. But anyway.
Being sold in US for $700. And we're talking hoodies that cost $10 to make that's being sold for over $300. And jeans that cost $50 to make that's being sold for $500 to $1,000.
That's crazy.
That's not high end. That's robbery. Y'all, and this is the crazy thing. This is not even new. A lot of people just been blind to it. They thinking just because it got a fancy label, that means it costs more. In reality, that just means the markups is better. China basically said, here y'all go. Now y'all better act like you know. And now everybody mad. They not mad at China. They mad at the brands that been overpricing this stuff they've been buying. They mad at the brands that they've been worshiping. They see it now. They were never buying quality. They were buying status. And they finally waking up. All of this happened because of this tariffs. People would have never knew. Or some people was really too blind to even notice the fact. But now everything is front and center for everybody to see.
For years, I like nice stuff, just like everybody else. I like to look good. I'm an older man.
Please.
I continued to buy more Gucci stuff. I never really bought a Gucci belt. Or like a Gucci.
His story is probably very similar to mine, though, to be honest. But I skimmed through it, and he's just like telling his story mainly. And I feel like a lot of people have that story of like, being broke, and you see these rappers, you see people on TV, and they got all this designer stuff, and you feel like, oh, this is the pinnacle of success. So when I get some money, I'm gonna do the same thing. Like, I feel like that's a very common thing, especially in the Black community. I feel like it's very common because that represents that you made it. And you released yourself. You freed yourself from the shackles of poverty because the man tried to keep you but you made it through. So anyway, so it's very psychological, So I feel like his story represents that, and I can relate.
Chapman said all the luxury items are made in China, and they only go to Italy to have the tag put on it, the designer tag. And once that designer tag is put on it, now it can say made in Italy, because only that small little percentage was actually made in Italy. That's all it takes to say made in Italy. Now it makes it over here to our designer boutiques, and we're spending thousands upon thousands of dollars for something that was in fact made in China, not Italy. I don't care how much you're spending on the thing. Chances are it is coming from China. The only part that was actually made in Italy was when they put the designer tag on there. And this is why the wealthiest of wealthy people buy inspired buy items. Why? Why would you spend the whole thing? Listen, I did a whole...
I remember I was on a plane with this lady. I was in business class, okay, with this older lady. And she was like, yeah, broke people buy... Like, she was the first person I heard who said that. She was like, broke people buy real designer. Like, I don't buy... Because I complimented her back. I don't buy real shit. Like, why would I do that? It's the same stuff. And at that point, I already knew that, but I had never heard anybody say that. Like, only broke people buy the real shit. I was like, oh, you know what, you're right. I mean, that makes sense. Anyway, but yeah, a lot of these people who have a lot of money, they don't really be buying designer like that. They might try to lead you to believe, so they might even film themselves going in the store and buying it. The real crafty ones and the sneaky ones, they'll film themselves buying it, but guess what? They'll probably take it back. You know, look what DDG showed us. So, you know, a lot of them, though, they are aware of this and they don't want to spend their money buying some shit when they know that they can get the exact same shit for much lower. And you won't even question it because they're rich. So, you know, I don't think that shit is a knockoff. Why would you think that when you know they got the money? So, yeah, it's very common.
Whole series on Birkins. And in one of the, you can see it in my like viral things I have pinned up there. But one of the videos was talking about the Birkin sort of like Tupperware party that all the wealthy Upper East Side women in New York have. They're not spending money on real Birkins. They're not shucking and jiving for Birkin. And they call people over in China and get the same
exact.
Yeah,
like
so
exactly the same.
If you know, you know.
Not similar, like exact.
Birkin connects direct to manufacturer. That's how they're getting them made. But the wealthy people, the people who are not like going through the foolishness of the Birkin game, the people who could care less because they don't need to look rich, they're actually not trying to look rich because they are wealthy. That's the difference. Those are the people I'm talking about. But y'all,
your TikTok is not full of Chinese content right now, then you are definitely lost, especially if you're into fashion or you're an online vendor or business owner. So apparently, because of the tariff wars going on between the United States of America and China, Chinese manufacturers are exposing the big brands. Adidas, Nike, Gucci, Dior, Louis Vuitton, name them. Chinese manufacturers are like, oh, tariffs, you say? Let's play this game. American people, or everyone in the world, you like these big brands, right? Okay, their location is XYZ, N1Ju, their manufacturers are XYZ, and here are
I love how they say Z.
I have literally seen
British people say that too. They say Z instead of Z.
In China,
they also say H.
Chinese manufacturers threatening big brands. I literally saw a video where this manufacturer said, you see that Shanell bag you buy in that boutique for $100, you can actually get it for $5 back here. So make the move. They are literally playing the Uno reverse card. Now, I do not know how this tariff war is going to end, but if it doesn't, it's going to be beneficial for us, Banku wearers, and it's going to cause a little problems. But I think everything will be fine eventually.
It was usually
just fuck all this shit. Who cares?
Some people that hold checks for the month. 500, 800, 1,000, 3,000, 6,000 for knockoffs. We're worth $15. This whole time you thought you were getting the best clothes from Italy? Nah, it was just knockoffs from China. And I'm kind of confused on why exactly they're doing this. Really a slap in the face of the people that love design. A huge slap in the face. They're sending a message to the Americans like, you might as well not buy this. It's a waste of time. I think I can see why the upper class don't buy designer. It's usually how they keep the poor people poor. How many young individuals die for designer? Literally, people have lost their lives to get designer. This could be a very good thing for the future, though. It's these huge, big corporations that keep the young people poor.
Facts. That's a great point. It could be really good for the future. And maybe people won't, view that as a symbol of success and strive to blow their money on that. So they'll have, extra money to spend on other things. But then, people can always find dumb shit to spend their money on. And I don't even want to call it dumb shit. Hey, if this is what makes you feel good and fulfilled as a person, I'm not going to sit here and knock it, okay? But just know you can get the same shit for less. Way, 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 way less. So just do some digging and figure it out, all right? It's not that hard to find. Don't actually go into the damn Gucci store and Louis Vuitton store and pay full price. Don't do that. That's not smart. But yeah, I'm glad that a lot of people are getting their eyes open to this nonsense, because it is fucked up how they've been ripping people off for many years. And the main people who hurt in this situation are the people who are struggling, because they are looking, at these designer brands to fill that void and feel like, they have some type of success or they have some type of luxury to cling on to, and they're period of struggle, you know? So it gets very deep. It's very psychological. But yeah, I hope that, you know, things do turn around so that people can stop giving their money, their hard-earned money to these billion-dollar corporations. Like, for what? When they scamming you. Crazy. Anyway, y'all let me know what y'all think, though, and I'll see y'all on the next one. Bye.